They told you the future was going to be clean. They promised you a digital utopia that lived in the clouds, weightless, ethereal, and carbon neutral. We were sold a dream of sleek glass offices and solar-powered servers. But as the mask of the AI revolution begins to slip, we are finding something much more primal underneath. The cloud isn't made of vapor. It's made of heat. It's made of massive, roaring fans and thousands of miles of copper. And most importantly, it's made of an insatiable, terrifying hunger for electricity. Welcome to 2026, the year the tech giants realized that to build a god, they first had to master the atom. Microsoft, a company that once just sold you an operating system, has just made a blood pact with the nuclear industry. They aren't just buying software anymore. They are buying the core of the Earth to feed the beast.
In late 2024, Microsoft signed a 20-year power purchase agreement with Constellation Energy. The deal involves the revival of Unit 1 at the 3 Mile Island Nuclear Generating Station, the site of the most significant nuclear accident in U.S. history. This marks the first time in history a retired nuclear plant is being brought back online specifically to power a single corporation's data centers.
3 Mile Island, the very name used to send shivers down the spine of the public. It was the symbol of human hubris, a warning etched in concrete and radiation. And yet, here we are. Microsoft is pouring billions into those cooling towers, not because they care about green energy, but because they've run out of options. Every time you ask ChatGPT a question, every time you generate a high-definition image, a spark of energy is required that traditional grids can no longer provide. The public grid is crumbling. It's old, it's tired, and it was never designed for a world where every company wants to run a trillion-parameter model. So, what do the titans do? They don't fix the grid for you. They build their own. They become the new sovereigns. They are bypassing the public infrastructure and securing their own private suns. They aren't just tech companies anymore. They are becoming the most powerful energy cartels the world has ever seen.
The energy requirements for the next generation of AI are staggering. A single large language model training session can consume as much electricity as a small city for an entire year. Current projections suggest that by 2030, data center power demand will triple. This has led to the emergence of Project Stargate, a $100 billion supercomputer cluster that will require its own dedicated nuclear infrastructure to function.
Think about the scale of that. $100 billion for a machine that eats nuclear energy for breakfast. We used to worry about peak oil. Now, we are entering the era of peak compute. And in this new world, the winner isn't the one with the best code. It's the one who owns the most gigawatts. Microsoft, Google, Amazon, they are all doing it. They are buying up small modular reactors, funding fusion research, and making deals with the ghost of the nuclear past. They are effectively separating themselves from the rest of humanity. If the public grid fails, your lights go out. But the AI? The AI will keep humming along, powered by a private reactor that you aren't allowed to access. It's the ultimate divide. A world where intelligence gets the premium, stable, nuclear juice, while the rest of us are left with whatever's left in the battery. Before we look deeper into the fallout of this energy grab, let's look at your own engagement. The algorithm that brought you here is the very thing these reactors are being built to sustain. If you find value in these files, if you want to see the gears behind the curtain, you need to play your part. Subscribe to AI Files, like the video, and tell us in the comments, are you comfortable with a future where tech giants own the power plants? Your interaction tells the machine that these truths matter. Let's get back to the atom.
Strategic analysis indicates a shift in corporate identity. Microsoft is now investing more in energy infrastructure and chip design than in software development. By securing long-term nuclear contracts, they are insulating their AI development from energy price volatility and grid instability. This is vertical integration at a civilizational level.
Vertical integration. Titan has a way of making total control sound like a business strategy. But let's talk about the reality of this. Nuclear power is a high-stakes game. It requires massive amounts of water, specialized labor, and, most importantly, absolute safety. When a company like Microsoft takes over the energy conversation, they aren't just buying power, they are buying political influence. They are telling governments, if you want the AI revolution to happen in your country, you give us the permits, you let us reopen the reactors, you give us the water rights. We are seeing the birth of the techno-state, a world where the company provides the jobs, the communication, the intelligence, and now, the very power that keeps the lights on. They are becoming more powerful than the governments that are supposed to regulate them. How do you tax a company that owns the sun? How do you regulate a system that can calculate your next move before you even make it?
The energy intelligence paradox suggests that as AI becomes more efficient, the demand for its use grows so rapidly that total energy consumption continues to rise. This is known as Jevons paradox. Despite improvements in hardware, the sheer volume of AI inference requests ensures that the hunger for nuclear and fossil fuels will only intensify.
It's a treadmill we can't get off. The more AI we use to solve our problems, the more power we need to run that AI. It's a snake eating its own tail. And don't listen to the PR talk about fusion. Fusion is always 20 years away. We are reopening 3 Mile Island now because they need the juice now. They are desperate. They are terrified that the lights will go out on their trillion-dollar valuations, so they go back to the old gods. The atom, the split nucleus, the force that leveled cities is now being used to make sure you can generate a picture of a cat in a spacesuit in 3 seconds. It's the most expensive, most dangerous convenience in human history. And who pays the price? If something goes wrong at Unit 1, it's not the board of directors who will be breathing in the particles. It's the people living in the shadow of the towers. They are the ones living in the experiment.
Projected energy deficits in the United States by 2028 are expected to lead to curtailment events, where industrial users are asked to reduce power. However, mission-critical data centers often have priority status in service-level agreements. The hierarchy of energy distribution is being rewritten.
The hierarchy of energy distribution. Remember that phrase. It means when the grid is strained during a heat wave, the algorithm gets the cooling, and you get the blackout. It means the digital mind is more valuable than the human body. This is the true cost of the AI era. It's not just the subscription fee you pay every month, it's the fundamental restructuring of our resources. We are sacrificing our energy independence, our environmental safety, and our public infrastructure to build a machine that we don't even fully understand. Microsoft isn't just reopening a power plant, they are opening a door to a world where corporations are the lords of the light, and we are just the subjects, hoping they leave enough for us to charge our phones. The atom is awake again, and this time, it's not working for you. It's working for the code. You've reached the end of the file. If you're still listening, you're one of the few who realizes that the future is a very heavy, very hungry thing. The story of the nuclear AI is just beginning. We will be here to track every watt and every watt-hour they take from the world. If you want to stay ahead of the curve, make sure you're subscribed. Share this file with someone who thinks AI is just software. Help them see the cooling towers behind the screen. Leave a comment with the word nucleus to let me know you've seen the truth. I'm Heisenberg. This is AI Files. The truth is out there, but it's becoming harder to see through the steam.